So again, due Friday is worksheets 1 through 3. So let's go over worksheet 3, and then hopefully you'll be ready to turn them in. I mean, we're not turning them in today, but you'll be ready on tomorrow. Come tomorrow. Crystal? Number 10. Let's see. Which of the following is false? Oh man, they make us do 3 problems. I'm looking at the problems. They all have I's in them. None of them are going to factor because 5 and 2, 10 and 1. Yep, my only option here is quadratic formula on all of them. I don't see a better way. So for 10A, I'm a little worried that it follows a pattern except for B. B looks different than the rest of the pattern. That doesn't mean anything, but it does mean I'm going to start with B because I'm suspicious of what's going on there. So let's start with B and see if it's false. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So again, gentlemen, can you guys please be quiet? We're going over these. If you've already done, great, but people need to be able to hear. So again, quadratic formula, negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 40 would be negative 4 all over 2. Negative 6 plus or minus 2i over 2. So that would be negative 3 plus or minus I. Oh, so B was actually right. Oh well.
Whoa. That's a shame.
That is a shame, because it sure looked like it was different than the others.
Well, wouldn't D be the next one you apply for?
So you want to try D next?
Because it's a negative 1.
I have a feeling it's A.
I mean, I'll
Actually, no.
Let's start with A.
Yeah.
start with A. I don't know. Well, we'll start with A then. B is the one that looked different, but that one works. So let's start with A. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 40 is 24. 24 is 2 square root of 6. So negative 4 plus or minus square root of 6. So A is right. We're terrible at this guessing game.
C. It's D. Oh, you put an A for next to it.
Just because we were going to guess that one next, but then you talked me into guessing A.
Don't do
I think.
You think D?
Yeah.
Maybe it's C.
Let's try D. If we miss it on this one, well, it doesn't matter. We'll know the answer whether D is it or not. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I think this is going to be the wrong one.
Do you know the answer already?
I don't. I got it written down somewhere, but I know this isn't going to work because, let's see, we get 6i over 2. So, yeah, something's not right. Which one was this? This one must be. That's not. Whoops, that should be negative 2 over. So it should be negative 1 plus or minus 6i. No, plus or minus 3i. Whatever, it's not. D is false. D didn't work.
Oh no.
So that was a quadratic formula problem that we ended up having to do 3 times. What other questions from worksheet 3? different ones on the back. Are you okay with those? Especially number 11. If that equation yields an imaginary solution, which of the following could be k? So I can't factor that, but I could do x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if I want this to be imaginary, it would mean that this 16 minus 4k has to be less than 0, has to be negative.
So k has to be greater than 4.
So k's got to be greater than 4. So you could just plug in your choices there. 2 gives you a positive, 3 gives you a positive, 4 gives you 0, but that doesn't make it imaginary. 5 makes that piece of the quadratic formula negative, so that would give us an imaginary solution. That piece is called the discriminant. We don't really need to know that, but some of you remembered that, b squared minus 4ac. But you don't have to do that. You can just kind of start from the beginning and figure out what makes that part negative. Were you okay with 13 and 14? Kind of backwards problems, so instead of giving you the equation, it gives you the answers. So the answers are x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. And then you have to kind of think backwards. That means the factors are x minus 3 and x plus 2. So then you FOIL it out. X squared minus x minus 6. And you get B. Did I mess it up?
Yeah. It's backwards.
Oh yes, x equals negative 3, x equals positive 2. That changes up everybody. So it is A. Yeah, I messed up the whole point of this problem. Pick off the factors, or excuse me, pick off the roots, change them into factors, and then write the equation. So that it's kind of the backwards from what we usually do. Anything else?